we're going to walk through my bag dump on this archery, currently over the counter. This will be the last year of them. Elk hunt in Colorado. And I'm going to walk you through everything I've got and some of the decisions that I made behind doing each one of those. We'll get everything kind of packed up and set up from there. So, first off, we have a Haven tent and sleeping pad. This does weigh 5 pounds and 11 ounces, but it sets up and it gives you the opportunity to not have to find a place without logs, rocks, sticks, and level ground. That was the reason I wanted to do this. I stayed on the side of the mountain. Finding 2 trees is easy. Finding a flat spot is not so easy. So that was my start there. One of my favorite things is this Flex Tail air pump. It weighs 1.2 ounces plus the battery. So it comes out about right at 2 ounces. And it's a pump. It inflates, deflates your air mattress. It is so nice after a long day to not have to huff and puff. You press that in and boom, you are inflating. You can turn this around the other way and it will deflate. It's good for a pile of inflates before the battery will run out. Fantastic. It actually runs on the same battery as my spare flashlight. So I have a spare battery for my spare flashlight here. So for my sleeping system, I have a Kelty 20-degree down sleeping bag. That is my second part. And then I use a Eros pillow. You gotta have a pillow. Then as far as clothing goes, I bring a extra pair of darn tough socks in case I need a second pair. This is about the only extra I bring. I bring a hat that I wear, keep the sun out of my head. I have a pair of hiking shorts. So if you are doing a mileage day on trails and you're mainly on trails, this is the way to go. Especially early season, you'll want something that's going to keep you a little not quite so hot. As far as warm weather goes, I carry a hoodie, one little fleece hoodie, and a thermal top. Other than that, I've got this thin top and these pants. So not a whole bunch of clothes. I do have a pair of gaiters in case it gets super wet to try to keep any water from going into my shoes. If you ever get water in your shoes out here, you're going to be miserable for a long time. Moving right along, I've got Frog Tog rain jackets and pants. Hopefully I don't have to use those. Moving over to my water system. You're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of water. My goal with the water this time, and I've been up here on the mountains, it's been 4 days since I've had water because I brought 3 gallons of water up top, and I'm currently down to this left. Actually a little more than that. So these only weigh 1 ounce, so I can bring 2 liters, a little over 2 liters. A liter's almost a quart for conversion standards. Then I use a Sawyer squeeze system, and you can see my Sawyer squeeze bags, and that's what I do for water. Over here we have my game bags. These are the lightest game bags on the market. They saved, I bought these, well, I had some other ones. I saved almost a pound by swapping to these bags. Don't buy any other bag besides this, because this will cover a deboned elk and weighs like 9 ounces, something like that. Then I have my Fit Kicks shoes. These are kind of a mixture of items in the sense that they are water shoes as well as camp shoes. So you get to a creek, if you know where you're hunting and you've been hunting there before and you know the creeks won't be high, this probably isn't quite as needed. But I got to some creeks that I was going to get my feet wet otherwise, slide these on, then you're good to go. I have an Amazon extra large rain cover for my backpack. For cooking, I went with a Jetboil stash. Everything packs up in here nicely and neatly. And then I have a Sea to Summit spork. One of the advantages of the Jetboil stash is the fact that its efficiency enables you to stay out here for probably 7 days on 4 ounces of fuel per person. That's amazing. Moving on over, I have my REI carbon fiber hiking sticks. I came out here, not a fan of them. I bought some aluminum hiking sticks, bent them the first time I used them. Needed to get some other ones because I found out the benefit of them. Ended up with these carbon fiber REI ones. My food bag. I personally use this Sea to Summit Ultra Seal bag for one, it's more durable than a trash bag. I think it keeps the scent out a little more, and when I'm hanging it up, it does a better job. So this is what I stash all my food into. Now for one of the most probably controversial items is I have a backpacking chair. Weighs right at 1 pound. For the amount of time that I've spent glassing, this is an advantage to have. I don't see many people carrying these on their lists, but there you go. Moving right on over to the electronics. So obviously I'm talking to you on a GoPro 11. I also have a GoPro 360 with a stick. This allows me to film the forward facing live point of views. Also, if I'm sitting someplace still, I can remote turn it on and get a little better view of like if I'm on the water holes. Set that up. I've got a charger for the GoPro 360s. I got my battery pack right here. Charging cords. I've got my primary flashlight, and I carry a secondary flashlight as well, just in case. Then we're gonna move on over to, from toiletries, we got toilet paper and our shovel. We have Vortex 10 by 50 binoculars. I would consider something stronger if they have them. And my range finder, and I keep my cow calls up in here, and I keep my license over there. Now we're going to go through my miscellaneous bag right here and kind of just go through this individually. So I've got a adapter to go on your binos to be able to try to take video from. This has been quite a challenge. I've got a towel, weighs about 2 ounces, an REI medium-sized towel. Works for drying your feet off or whatever other usage you can have. I've used it for drying my feet several times. Been very, very helpful for that. A small one-person ultralight medical kit right here. I've got 50 feet of, or 20 meters of paracord, reflective paracord. So my thought with this was to be able to tie up stuff if something messes up. I actually needed to, I used this to set up my hammock when I've lost my 2 straps that I've since found. I've got flossers and some toothpaste tablets, toothbrush. This is the bag that you can put the towel into. I've got a extra lighter and a piece of fire putty starter in case I needed kind of one little piece of my emergency kit. I've got my pill bag right here. So some Tylenol and Benadryl and some allergy medicine in there. Got a bag of latex gloves, outdoor edge knife, outdoor edge bone saw, and a little baggie of diaper rash cream. If you get chafed, this will be worth $1 million to you out here, especially if you're deep in there. And a pack of replacement blades, like I think there's 6-7 blades in here for the outdoor edge knife. There you go. That is my, oh, I left off one important thing. I went with the KUIU bag, the KUIU Pro LT5500, and I have one modification on that bag, and that is a water bottle holder on the front. It actually broke at the beginning, so it's tied on. So then I have the additional modification of the boat holder, which again, make sure you turn your arrows upright if possible. So there you go. That is my entire bag. Now we will go ahead and pack the bag up and get everything set up.